Sean was working with the NYPD, Miss Figueroa. He was assisting us in the investigation of the murder of a police officer. It stands to reason that that's why he was killed.
I'm back. I want to look like I never left. I need heads who ready to put in this work. Gritty won't get shook when shit shaky.
You in Trent, New Jersey, brother. We don't get shook.
I'm gonna step out before I do some great.
Love to see what that look like.
Wouldn't.
You upset about fame, and I don't blame you. That was my mans who got put down like that. I'd be painting the town red.
We ain't do shit to Famous. Nigga, they knew about some cops being dirty. And they got scared of him talking, so they snatched him up and put him down.
I seen everything. But the craziest shit I ever seen was a nigga who came back from the dead.
Yes, sir. What's the deal with it, YouTube? What's good with y'all? What's up with everybody? I go by the name of DC, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving y'all my thoughts, my review, my recap to Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 6, and let y'all know how I felt about the episode, as well as what I didn't like about the episode. But before I do that, if you're coming across my channel for the first time and you like power content like me, hit the post bell notification button to support the channel and to get updated on all content I post on my channel. And leave any of your comments, theories, and predictions that you want to leave down below in the comment section. And y'all let me know how y'all felt about the episode as well. Now, first things first, shout out to Jukebox. I gotta give a shout out to Jukebox character before I start this recap. Shout out to Jukebox, goddammit. Shout out to your girl Jukebox. Jukebox was really standing on business in this episode. And like I said in my episode 4 recap, when Jukebox caught her first body, I completely understand why Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan was scared of her growing up. I completely understand it. Jukebox one crazy ass character, bruh. She crazy as hell. This episode alone showed me why Ghost, Kanan, and Tommy fear Jukebox, bruh. Jukebox was really pressing in this episode and standing on business. And if it wasn't for Kanan, Jukebox would have smoked Freddy's crew in this episode when Jukebox and Kanan confronted Freddy's crew in this episode on whether or not if they was the ones that took out Famous. I guarantee that Kanan wasn't there, Jukebox would have killed them, bro. Jukebox would have took all of their asses out, bro. Jukebox was itching to catch a body in this episode, and she was really moving on some trigger happy shit. I know we ain't see her get another kill in this episode, but I believe before season 4 is over with, Jukebox gonna take somebody else out. I don't know who she gonna take out, but I definitely believe Jukebox is gonna get her next kill before season 4 is over with. I definitely believe that's going to happen sooner than later. Now, coming into episode 6, we knew both Jukebox and Kanan was going to be grieving the loss of Famous in this episode after Famous was pronounced dead after his body was found in episode 5. And that's what we saw from both of these characters in this episode, as well as from the rest of the people that had love for Famous in this episode while they were celebrating Famous' life at his repast. And at the repast, Jukebox told Kanan that she wants in on trying to figure out who was the person that was responsible for taking out Famous. So after the repast, Kanan tasked OC and his crew to bring him some information about what happened to Famous and who was responsible for his death. And OC ended up revealing to Kanan that the word on the streets is that Freddy's old crew is responsible for killing Famous. So with Kanan hearing about Freddy's crew being responsible for taking out Famous, Kanan tried to enact revenge on his own and take matters into his own hands. But when Kanan saw Freddy crew in the streets and realized that they were strapped, Kanan went and picked up Jukebox and spin back on Freddy crew in this episode and caught them slipping while they was at the basketball court. And Freddy's old crew told Jukebox and Kanan that they wasn't responsible for taking out Famous and they don't move like that. And that they heard that word on the streets is that the police was the ones that took out Famous. They heard Famous was snitching on some dirty cops, so the dirty cops took him out to prevent Famous from talking. And when Kanan heard this, he knew that Freddy's crew was not responsible for killing Famous. He knew it wasn't them, which I expected. I knew Freddy's crew was not responsible for killing Famous. Like I've been saying, I feel like somebody close to Kanan was responsible for taking out Famous, but after watching this episode, my theory didn't change, and I don't know who killed Famous. At this point, I just don't know who did it. But it wasn't Freddy's old crew. It wasn't them, and Kanan found out that it wasn't them in this episode. And if you ask me, I don't believe Famous killer is going to be revealed until episode 10. I don't think we're going to find out Famous killer until episode 10. I think they're going to drag out who killed Famous until the end of the season. And I believe episode 10 is going to be the episode we find out the person that was responsible for killing Famous. Now, moving on to Unique. We finally saw Unique pop out in this episode and let it be known to everybody in Southside Jamaica, Queens, that he's still alive and he's here to take back the streets. But before Unique popped up on Raquel, Unique had to make sure that he had the final pieces of his plan put together before he revealed himself to Raquel. And Unique was able to put the final pieces of his plan together in this episode with the help of Phil Russo. Because Unique pulled up on Phil Russo in this episode and told Phil Russo that he got to connect now And with him now having to connect, all he now needed was for Phil to give him some money and muscle so he could go up against Raquel and Stefano, explaining to Phil that Raquel Connect cut her off and she's running out of product. And he's in a great position to take over the streets since he's been messing with Raquel's business. And Phil agreed to back up Unique, and he told Unique that he would give him the money and the muscles that he need to go up against Raquel and Stefano, but he told Unique that he can't not take out Stefano even though he wants to do it. But if he softened it up enough, then maybe his own people could take him out for him. And he told Unique if he's going to be working with him, then Unique can't be dropping all bodies. He can't be out here just killing nobody for fun. Especially his girlfriend Raquel. He kept letting it be known to Unique that Raquel was his girlfriend in this scene, which had me fucking rolling. But Unique agreed to this. He agreed to not catch any more bodies and not go after both Raquel and Stefano until the time was right. So after Unique agreed to Phil Russo's terms, Phil Russo gave Unique the contact information to a guy by the name of Akbar, who could help out Unique by giving him all the soldiers that he needs to go up against Raquel and Stefano. So Unique and his crew went to go visit Akbar in this episode, and Unique was able to make a connection with Akbar in this episode with the help of Phil Russo. And Akbar is going to be giving Unique all the soldiers that he needs to go up against Raquel and Stefano. And with Unique now having to connect and getting back in touch with Quan, as well as getting Phil Russo in New Jersey to back him up, as well as getting introduced to Akbar in this episode and getting soldiers from him, Unique felt like it was the perfect time for him to reveal himself to everybody in the streets and let it be known that he was still alive. And the look that Raquel had on her face when she saw Unique in her kitchen eating butter pecan ice cream was funny as hell, bruh. Raquel was looking at Unique like she seen a ghost or something. Raquel was shook when she saw Unique in her kitchen. And with Raquel finally knowing about Unique still being alive, I am expecting her to adjust her moves in these next upcoming episodes of Raising Kanan, and I do believe she will be trying to plot and plan and figure out a way to neutralize Unique. And Raquel finding out about Unique still being alive couldn't have came at a worse time for her. Cause like Unique said to Phil Russo, Quan cut Raquel off and she's running out of product, which is not the only thing that she's going through. She's having issues with getting her drugs moved to the Chinese restaurants across the city because Marvin killed Terry in episode 5. And now they're stuck dealing with Terry's brother David, who is always coked up and don't care about whether or not the Raquel drugs get moved to these Chinese restaurants. And we saw Marvin and Early Tyler bumping heads with each other in this episode because Early Tyler feels like he's not making enough money working at Stefano's pool hall, which I'm expecting to cause problems between Marvin and Stefano in future episodes of Raising Kanan, because I do believe Early Tyler is going to backdoor Marvin and Stefano. I definitely believe Early Tyler was going to try to get over on Stefano and Marvin in these next upcoming episodes of Raising Kanan. Like, Raquel already got enough stuff going on that she's currently dealing with, and her knowing about Unique being alive and having this vendetta against her is just going to add extra stuff on her plate that she does not need right now. Especially with Raquel becoming the supplier in this episode and locking in a deal with her Afghanistan connect. Raquel was able to move forward and lock in a deal with her Afghanistan connect in this episode, and with her doing this, she now has become the supplier. But with these problems that she having with Unique, this could possibly cause issues between Raquel and her new Afghanistan connect. Because Raquel's Afghanistan connect was already hesitant on doing business in Southside Jamaica, Queens, due to Queens being a very territorial place. Which is why he wanted to meet Raquel partners in this episode to make sure everything was good before he started doing business in Queens. But with Unique and his soldiers assembling control of the streets based off the episode 7 synopsis, and if this does happen, then I could see Raquel having issues with her Afghanistan connect due to Rock and Unique going to war over territory. So I don't know how Raquel is going to do it, but she's going to have to figure out a way to neutralize Unique before season 4 is over with. And figure out a way to stay one step ahead of Unique, but at the same time, with all the stuff that's going on with Raquel, from her having issues with Quan, to running low on product, from Marvin doing side jobs for Stefano, like with all this stuff that's going on around Raquel, I do believe it's going to be difficult at first for her to stay one step ahead of Unique moves, but I do believe before season 4 is over with, she will figure out a way to neutralize Unique and stay one step ahead of him come the end of season 4. Now moving on to Lulu. In this episode, we saw Lulu having a hard time with trying to cope with the loss of Famous. Lulu was another person in this episode that was really affected by the death of Famous. And while Lulu was at Famous Repass, Lulu ended up reconnecting with Famous sister Jessica. We all know Lulu and Jessica used to date back in season 1, but Jessica ended up moving to LA in season 2, and she hasn't been in the show ever since then. But we saw her and Lulu reconnect with each other in this episode, and Jessica and Lulu ended up hooking up with each other in this episode while they was kicking it at the studio, which caused an issue between Amani and Lulu later on in the episode, because when Amani came to the studio to visit Lulu, Amani saw Jessica's gold necklace on the table. And Lulu couldn't even deny the fact that Jessica was at the studio with him. He didn't even say nothing when Amani picked up the necklace. And Amani got pissed off when she saw Jessica's necklace at that studio. And now Amani is in her feelings about this. But with her being upset about it, I definitely believe this is going to cause issues between her and Lulu in these next upcoming episodes. I'm definitely expecting Lulu and Amani to have issues with each other in these next upcoming episodes. And another person I'm expecting Lulu to have issues with in these next upcoming episodes is B Rilla. I definitely believe B Rilla is going to be a problem for Lulu in these next upcoming episodes. Because in this episode, Lulu and B Rilla bumped heads with each other while they was at the studio because Lulu felt like B Rilla was recycling the same flow on his songs and he wanted B Rilla to switch it up a little bit and try to use metaphors and melodies, which is something that B Rilla wasn't trying to hear. And this actually pissed B Rilla off because B Rilla felt like Lulu was trying to change up his style. And he felt like nothing wasn't wrong with his rhymes and he felt like Lulu was tripping. To the point where B Rilla put his hands on Lulu and Lulu had to step out the studio before he did something to B Rilla that he was going to regret. And this nigga B Rilla had the nerve to tell Lulu he wished he would try. Like, B Rilla was trying to test Lulu and push his buttons. And Lulu had to tell B Rilla straight up, that's not something that he want. He like, look here, bruh. You don't want to see me do that, bruh. You do not want to see me do something to you that I'm going to regret. Like, B Rilla just don't know. Lulu will really put hands and feet on this boy, bruh. We all know what happened to the last rapper slash executive producer that tried to test Lulu and push his buttons. We all know what happened to him. We all know what happened to Crown and what Lulu did to him. So I don't know why B Rilla trying to test Lulu and play with him like he won't do something to him. B Rilla just don't know. B Rilla just don't know who he playing with. And I believe sooner than later, Lulu is going to have to make an example out of B Rilla and show B Rilla that he's not somebody to be played with. I definitely believe Lulu is going to have to put hands and feet on B Rilla in these next upcoming episodes. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Lulu takes out B Rilla. I'm predicting that Lulu is going to take out B Rilla. B Rilla is about to get on some B&E stuff in these next upcoming episodes, bruh. If B Rilla don't get taken out, I definitely see him going back to jail. I could definitely see him going back to jail because we all know B Rilla and his friend who goes by the name of Kenyatta is planning on breaking into Mr. Gelford's house to take his money. And I don't see B Rilla getting away with this robbery. I don't see B Rilla getting away with stealing Mr. Gelford's money out of his house. And I wouldn't be surprised if either him or his homeboy Kenyatta either get arrested or get dropped off. I could see that happening more than anything. I could really see something bad happening to either B Rilla or his homeboy because I don't see them getting away with robbing Mr. Gelford's house. And if Lulu finds out about this, I'm pretty sure he's going to feel the type of way about it as well. So things is not looking good for B Rilla, bro. Things is not looking good for B Rilla. And I do believe before season 4 is over with, B Rilla is going to go back to jail or he's going to get taken out. It's one or the other. I don't see him moving forward with his music career. I don't see him and Lulu moving forward with having a business relationship with each other or just messing with each other in general. And I do believe B Rilla's story will end in a negative way. And he will be one of the individuals that I see getting taken out before season 4 is over with. But leave your comments and theories down below in the comment section. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this episode as well as this video. If you made it to the end of this video and you like the video that I uploaded and created, hit the like button to help this video get recommended across the algorithm. And hit the post bell notification button to support the channel and to get updated on all content I post on my channel. Much love to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me and supporting the channel. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all be safe and God bless.